From the television department of the Liberian Broadcasting System, good evening and welcome to Lntv News Live. 30 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our world. I'm Cecilia Glickly-Clark anchoring tonight's edition, and these are the top stories we're following. Prestigious French football magazine names President George Weah as Africa's greatest footballer ever. Health authorities report widespread public violations across Liberia's two most populous cities. Government calls for calm among some residents of Rivercess County. And away from Liberia, police in Nigeria arrest 12 men for allegedly raping a 12-year-old girl over a 2-month period. All these stories, plus much more, all coming up. But first, let's take a very short break to be right back. Please keep watching. Many thanks for rejoining us. Let's take our developments. Liberian leader George Weah has been named the greatest footballer ever to come out of Africa. The prestigious and authoritative French football magazine, organizer of the African Footballer of the Year prize, has named President Weah in its recent publication among football stars of the continent. The magazine said the football legend deserved the honor for becoming the only African footballer to win the European Best, World Best, and Africa Best all in 1 year, 1995. The magazine said President Weah's footballing exploits on the world stage still remains fresh in the history of the global game. Cameroon's Samuel Eto'o and Roger Miller were named second and third respectively, with Ghana's Abedi Pele Aye coming fourth on the list that included many other former and present football stars. Liberia's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Francis Kete, says the number of recoveries from COVID-19 is encouraging, but said massive testing is crucial to ending the epidemic. He spoke via mobile phone to ELBC on Monday to give an update on the latest COVID-19 situation in the country.
The good thing is that just the past 24 hours we tested 183 samples, and out of the 183 samples we had 8 positives, and that has taken us, that is the cumulative number, up to today's date. We have 296 cases, and that includes the 8 new confirmed cases. Of that number, we have 159 persons that have now become survivors, and so this is something that we are very, very excited about. What we all have to do now is to see whether we have any increment in terms of what our average been. Since the response has started, I think the highest we got in one day's time was probably 12 or a little over 12 confirmed cases. Since then, we have been dropping, but you also have to look at the amount of specimens that is being tested. Over the past 1 week, we have scaled up our testing capacity. Are we complacent? No, we are not complacent. But we think that from the voluntary specimen collection, people are becoming more proactive in making sure that we all get to zero. We want to say a big thank you to the Tinker Village community. The leadership did extremely well, and we're looking forward to other communities that we may be engaging very soon, and those that we have engaged to see how we can begin our voluntary samples collection. So we think people are becoming more involved.
At the same time, Dr. Kete said people are putting the country at risk of sliding back to an increase in new infections or violations of the health protocols.
While it is true that we are not getting high positivity, we also should not be complacent. People now have stopped wearing masks and so forth. These are things that are going to take us back to where we used to be. When we used to get about 10, 12 cases per day, we could go back there. So we need to be very mindful. Another thing is that was said by the minister today. There are people who are breaching the protocol when it comes to 6 o'clock curfew. What we have done is basically working with our lab team that will be posted at specific checkpoints. When you get there by 6 o'clock, definitely we will get your sample collected, the driver license will be taken away, and when the result comes, we'll call him and he'll get his license and the result, and all those that will be in his vehicle, he has to account. Vehicle should not be on the road by 6 o'clock. Finish. So if you have anybody in your vehicle at 6 o'clock, then you should know that you have to take the responsibility for those people. So begin to ask them of where they live and so forth. Because if any of them become positive, we are going to keep your license until you present that person. There have been lots of people that have been willing to follow the protocols that have been put in place by the health sector. There are others who have vehemently refused to accept the guidelines and so forth. And so that gave us another opportunity.
Internal Affairs Minister Vani Sirleaf has appealed for calm after confusion broke out following alleged maltreatment of some nearby citizens, reportedly by some residents of the Sand Beach mining area in Rivercess County. Speaking to ELBC Monday via mobile phone, Minister Sirleaf disclosed that some arrests have been made and that the Assistant Internal Affairs Minister for Culture has been sent to the county to address the situation.
Go to this Sand Beach area, but as someone I can tell you, the government has sent people there, and what happened is that the place is so difficult to reach. Only motorbikes they used to go there. Arrests being made. The arrests that were made, we are keeping those people on the same beach area yet until we can get vehicle to where we can move them to Monrovia or I've been speaking to the Minister of Justice as well. It's not that the government is sitting down and just saying no logistics. 102 was spoken to, the Deputy Police Director. He directed the police in Buchanan to also send support there. But what we have done today.
So what is the instruction that you've given the team? What are they going to do when they get there?
The team, when they get there, the superintendent and the police and all of those that are gone in now, those that are arrested, and we are holding them there until we can get vehicle to remove them from the crime scene. Definitely, we're going to remove them quickly. So justice can be given to the committed the crime against. When that happens, then the culture may go in the instruction is to look at the culture. Whatever happened there, putting devil outside, devil does not just come outside to intimidate those that are members of that culture. If that happens there will be severe punishment that every cultural person will know that cannot disclose on the video.
So assuming that somebody put out the country devil to intimidate the authors, exactly what do you think your book has indicated that could be the punishment?
I do not know yet what has happened there. The assistant minister will give me full briefing, and then we'll determine also what punishment should be given. The punishment aspect also who intimidated people that led to people being hurt and what have you. Definitely people will pay for the consequences. And the one that has criminality, of course the police will remove those people and they will be prosecuted.
But what the Liberian National Police has been doing since the incident occurred in Rivercess County, the Liberian National Police spokesperson is Moses Carter.
One of the lawmakers, specifically in the Tapera area, we've talked to him and he's committed to us to make sure that the victims will be taken to, Rivercess. They will identify those aggressors, and we will not hesitate to take the immediate action against the aggressors.
Mr. Carter, you are saying that there's been no arrest made so far.
The victims are still in care, and the agreement that was made was with the lawmaker there in Nima was that once they get well, we will take them to Rivercess because the aggressors have not been identified. We want to identify the aggressors, but they have not yet been identified.
We are getting conflicting accounts. We spoke with the Minister of Internal Affairs he indicated that an arrest has been made. Now the LMP, who's supposed to ensure that the arrest is made, you are telling us now that absolutely there's not arrest because the aggressors are not been they are not been identified.
To the time that you call me, I've been trying to speak to the commander. To the time that you call me and the commander phone is off, perhaps he's either in an undercover area because you spoke to me this morning, giving report or accounts on what's happening in Rivercess. And I assure you that we have spoken to you. We have been making efforts to get our commander from Rivercess and his phone is off. Apparently undercover area.
When did the police decide to go after this? Because we understand that's been since 2-3 weeks now.
Look, when the incident immediately occurred, our commander moved in and made sure that he had a meeting with all of the authority of the Sand Beach. He had a meeting with them and they could not outrightly show who carried out the assault. And so it's only those victims that could be able to show those persons that assaulted them. We are interested in making sure that those who carried out the assault are arrested.
Countries around the world are taking steps aimed at reviving. Many sectors are overstretched as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, mainly the economies, of which Liberia is no exception. Given where Liberia's economy stands now, the Board of Governors of the Central Bank of Liberia over the weekend endorsed several measures to resuscitate the economy, including a 5% cut in the interest rate. The measures of the Board of Governors were announced by the Central Bank of Liberia Executive Governor Aloysius Tal.
This is a board decision. Having considered global and domestic economic developments in the first quarter of 2020, largely taking into consideration COVID-19, the inflation projection for Q2 2020, the board finds it prudent to maintain a tight monetary policy stance, but at a lower rate, while continuing to monitor macroeconomic and market conditions within the economy. The board hereby reduces the monetary policy rate by 500 basis points to 25%, in line with the inflation projection for Q2 2020. To this end, the board will seek to do the following: support increased financial intermediation by banks, deepen sensitization for more public participation in the financial instruments, including CBA bills, maintain a positive rate of return on investment in the financial instruments, and strengthen the store of value of holding Liberian dollar. Lastly, it will sustain monetary policy efforts to bring inflation down, being mindful of supporting recovery of the economy. The Board of Governors also decided to continue the issuance of shorter tenor instruments, 2 weeks, 1 to 3 months, at an adjusted policy rate, maintain the suspension of remittance split policy, continuing the awareness campaign on wider use of electronic payments, including mobile money, and lastly, to support the government stimulus initiative for businesses, including small and medium businesses, for speedy recovery of the economy.
Well, viewers, if you just joined us, it's a reminder you are watching Lntv News Live, and these are the top stories we're following. Prestigious French football magazine names President George Weah as Africa's greatest footballer ever. Health authorities report widespread public violations across Liberia's 2 most populous cities. Government calls for calm among some residents of Rivercess County. And away from Liberia, police in Nigeria arrest 12 men for allegedly raping a 12-year-old girl over a 2-month period. We take a short break. When we come back, more stories ahead. Please keep watching. Many thanks for rejoining us. Let's continue with more of our developments. Government recently announced the easing of some COVID-19 restrictions, with additional businesses, including restaurants, permitted to reopen. One business that has reopened following months of closure is the famous Musu spot in Congo Town. Madam Musu Family Doe is the business owner. She told Lntv that the reopening of businesses is a new beginning while calling on government to assist Liberian businesses in their rebuilding draft.
Crises have come and go, but unfortunately we tried again, we keep trying to get back. Yeah, we came with COVID-19, and COVID-19 has taken a great toll on the businesses. First thing, getting started now is so tough because we've been closed for the past 6 weeks. We're just starting since the government announced that restaurants can open. So I just thought it was because sitting home is so boring. And the workers all depending on you, they're calling you when we're opening. So now we have come and we're starting all over. It's really, really, really tough because the economy is slow. And then the little money we had through the business now, you not sit at home and eat it all. So it's a new beginning. We're starting all over. So we really, really, really need some conversation with the people in charge, whoever can help Liberian businesses. Because I'm not alone. I'm speaking generally because we've all been in this strife together, and this is our country. Unfortunately, this is happening. Nobody didn't expect it. So we can't blame nobody, but we're just begging that at least the Liberian Business Association or Liberian businesses will be recognized in some way so we can get back on our feet. Because you got to get back your inventory, you got to get back your businesses. By the time you close the place, nobody coming every day. You got to start cleaning up, painting, doing this, doing that, doing the other. But the business is very slow. We opened last Monday. We started how many booths? 3 booths, 4 booths, and it's still slow.
Camp for Peace, a non-governmental organization, continues to identify with Liberians, especially ordinary citizens, since the COVID-19 pandemic started. Camp for Peace over the weekend presented full and non-full items to the Christian Association of the Blind on Bon Mines Road and the Deaf and Dumb School in Kakata City, Maigibi County. Abel Lee Welly is the executive director of Camp for Peace.
So we've been thinking what we could do as a non-for-profit organization. I've been working in Liberia. So what we did is that we sent a little appeal to our partner, the Steel Workers Union of Canada. They are supporting us as organizations. So when this thing started, we went back to them to talk to them. They themselves have been in-house for almost 3 months. They can't come up. So the boss said, well, we have small money. $2,000 US is a very small money. But we can give you that for you to, whatever your hand can touch, to help, right? So we got that little money, and your group is one of the groups that we targeted. We just from the School of the Blind. We also have a group of 77 here in Kagat, in Habel and other places. So we actually came to identify with you. We have a small parcel. In that parcel, we put only 10 cups of rice in there, 1 bottle of oil. As part of our organization, where we are also producing what we call super gari, we're producing that in local. We're doing the production. So we also put 1 packages of that super gari in that plastic. So in the plastic, you'll see a bottle of oil, 10 cups of rice, and 1 package of super gari. We usually sell our super gari for $225. So
for their part, the beneficiaries, the Secretary General of the Christian Association of the Blind, Joe Pakela and B. Myers of the Bright Mind and Christian Academy thanked Camp for Peace for the donation.
We are very much grateful to Camp for Peace. Is that the name?
Yeah, Camp
for Peace Liberia. Like I always say, it is interesting to know that in the midst of the kind of crisis, we still see our brothers who are standing in solidarity with us. Because honestly, if it couldn't be you guys who are humanitarian living in our country, then people with disability could not be existing, and even during the time of the virus, hunger, quarantine, making everyone perish. But we want to be very much grateful to all of you guys. Even in as much as you don't have it, you're still making appeal to other friends that you can reach out to so that they can help you in return, be a help to us.
The children come here in good number. We have more than 100 and some more deaf students here. Some of them are up to the level of 10th grade. But due to the COVID, they are all out with their parents. So these are residents of Kakata and the closer environs that are here today, because we're not able, the citation or the notice came very late, so we're not able to contact all of them. So those who you see today, they are now all the deaf here in Maigivi. Some of them, their parents have carried them to distant places because of the COVID. So we are very appreciative. This is an awesome initiative that you have brought to our kids today and their family members. Whatever you have brought is not little, because to think about these type of people who are physically challenged, to think about them and come to donate to them masks and some food items, we are very grateful. On their behalf, we say thank you. Thank you to your donors and all those who have helped in this similar way to get you here today for our children to be beneficiary of what you.
An assessment on female genital mutilation for female zoos has ended in 5 counties. The coordinator of the National Council of Chiefs and Elders of Liberia, Sital Fofana Sarr, said the assessment was intended to find out the number of women zoos involved in agricultural activities. She spoke to Lntv over the weekend following a return from Lofa, Nimba, and Grenjide counties.
The transformation that we really want to see, like we recommend the UN Women in the process through plan, is to build the heritage center. If you build the heritage center, we'll have dormitory for the zoos. We ask that 20 zoos should live there. There will be schools. We will carry on our cultural practices that have to do with plaiting hair, dancing, weaving. Like now, if you go around, you don't see real country cloth like that. Everybody live with the Chinese thread. And we saw our zoo owner there, because you never see younger zoo. Those zoo owner there, those days when they had one Sunday bush, it would take them 5 years. What they used to do to sustain themselves was farming. In that farming, they will plant cotton. It is that cotton they will weave and turn it to country cloth. They sell those things. But now, you even find some of the traditional people, they don't want their children to go there. They allow their children to go to school because they know at the end of the day, they want to see their children being minister, being president, being superintendent. So I believe transforming them from that level to another level will bring some value. Transform, change some of the things, and bring value into some of the things. That's what we're doing. Because it always play on us where you see the kind of knowledge, the wisdom God gave traditional people, where people just class traditional people, they just be medicine people. You understand? Because the moment they say zoo, they refer to you as biomedicine person.
Meanwhile, Madam Sarr has frowned on the increase of teenage pregnancy in the counties and called for more awareness on the problem.
I was frustrated when I got to Granjide. The moment you cross the bridge, every child you see that woman with babies. the teenage pregnancy or the teenagers is increasing every day, day by day. So it frustrates me. Sometimes I sat down, sometimes I ask the people, my colleague that will travel together, I ask them, I said, well, if it was the elderly people that are doing this, maybe I want to ask them why. But it's children to children. They little children that over motorbike. You understand? Having an affair with this 13 years, 14 years, and they pregnant, they born this baby. And the moment that person become a baby man, they're going to find another baby man. They're increasing in number.
Were you to engage them?
Yeah, I engage for
the teenagers.
Yeah, Israel, especially the girls I was stopping. Some of them were there. I engaged them too.
Following weeks of being alleged, the man who reportedly raped and impregnated his stepdaughter has been arrested. Making the disclosure to ELBC Monday, police spokesman Moses Carter said Johnson Chulantad was arrested late Sunday evening around the Mount Barkley community.
There was a video that went very viral on social media of a 15-year-old minor alleging that she was raped and impregnated by her stepfather named Johnson Cholote. And this happened about a year ago. And so Johnson Cholote, according to information, has been on the run. And when the information surfaced, the Ministry of Justice ordered us, the Liberia National Police, to ensure that Johnson Cholote is arrested and made to face charges of corrupting this minor. And so we immediately arrested the mother and took the mother for interrogation. And with the assistance of the public and also the interest raised in the public, yesterday by 8 p.m., Johnson Cholote was arrested by one of our officers. When the information sparked out, he too was on the alert, and yesterday at about 8 p.m., Johnson Cholote was arrested by our officer and turned over to Central Authority.
Well, let's now take our foreign development. 12 men have been arrested in Nigeria accused of repeatedly raping a 12-year-old girl over a 2-month period. Police in the northwestern state of Jigawa were alerted to the alleged crime by some residents of the area. Police in the northwestern state were alerted, and during the police interview, the girl said that 11 other men had also raped her. She is now in hospital, and police have told the BBC there is medical evidence of the rape. The incident follows the killings in the last week of 2 young women that have sparked widespread anger in Nigeria. In one case, the families of 22-year-old student Weah Omozuwa said she was raped inside a church and beaten to death in the city of Benin. Meanwhile, Amnesty International said though rape is a crime in Nigeria, the rising number of attacks is due to the failure of law enforcement. Well, viewers, on that note, this is how we come to an end of this edition of Lntv News Live. But before we go, a recap of the major stories we followed. Prestigious French football magazine names President George Weah as Africa's greatest footballer ever. Health authorities report widespread public violations across Liberia's 2 most populous cities. Government calls for calm among some residents of Rivercess County. And of the home front, police in Nigeria arrest 12 men for allegedly raping a 12-year-old girl over a 2-month period. Many thanks to our entire production team for making tonight's edition a success. Many thanks to you, our valued viewers, for watching. Many thanks to Sekou Kroma and his team at Top TV in Zwaju, Grangida County, for relaying our news and public affairs programs. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Cecilia Glickley Clark. I anchored. Good night from Painesville. Please keep safe.